So even though we don't need the fight or flight response very often in today's society, I think it's important that we understand it because it happens automatically. It's an automatic response when we are afraid or fearful or stressed over something. It could be a job interview, it could be speaking on stage, or it could be a first date. It doesn't have to be a bad thing that causes us this stress or worry response. And what happens is in all those responses, automatic fight or flight response starts by having our heart pound quickly to send all the blood to our big muscles ready to fight or flee or run away, which is flight. So, job interview, our heart's pounding. Um, Going on stage, we can feel our heart pounding on a first date. You feel your heart pounding. And when the blood goes to the muscles, we can feel that tension in our muscles. We also send a signal to our muscles to cool them down, which is the sweat response. So here we are going for a job interview, and we shake someone's hand, and our hand's all sweaty. Or we're up on stage, and we can feel all sweaty under our armpits, or our brows all sweaty. Or on a first date, you go to hold hands, and your hand's all sweaty. So the response is the same. Doesn't matter what the stressor is. And if all the blood is going to the muscles, there's not a lot left over for the digestive system. So we get butterflies in our stomach. Our stomach gets upset. We feel like we're going to throw up. That happens just before people go on stage. It happens before the job interview. And when you're on that first date, your stomach makes all these funny gurgling noises that it doesn't normally make. And if the blood's not going to the digestive system in the stomach, it's probably not going to the mouth as well. And so we get a dry mouth. And you're on stage, everyone on stage always has water. When I'm interviewing people for jobs, I always have water available for them because when you ask them a question and they get nervous, fearful, they get a dry throat and then they have trouble speaking and they start to turn red. And I don't want them to have trouble speaking. I want to be able to answer the questions to the best of their ability. So a little drink of water will help them be able to speak. And going back to the first date, you go to have that first kiss and your mouth's all dry. You have to lick your lips. Get your hands sweaty. Anyway, it's all messed up. So that's the body part. The brain part is really quite interesting. The hand model of the brain says if we hold our hands out in front like this, that's about the size of our brain. So if you're doing this right now and you look and you have small hands, well, sorry to hear that. It's not proportional. The hand model of the brain works this way. This is the reptilian part of the brain. All animals, mammals, reptiles, we have it. And in a fight or flight response, the blood goes here. So we're ready to respond right away. We don't have to think about it. This is the limbic system. It's the emotional part of the brain that we have as humans. We don't have to be in a threatening situation to have a stress response. We can just think about it and be afraid of something. And the blood goes here in a fight or flight response. This is the memory cortex decision-making part of our brain. And the blood doesn't go here on a fight or flight response. And that's why, when you're in grade 4 and you've practiced your speech with your mom or dad and you're ready to go, but you go to school and you can't remember it, well, that doesn't make sense. If you know it with your mom and dad, why don't you know it when you're at school? Well, the fight or flight response is the stress response. But your mom says, well, picture everybody in the class in their underwear. And you kind of giggle for a little bit, and then you do it, and it works. And that's because the humor response of the brain goes through the same neurons, the same part of our brain as the fight or flight response. So that allows us to relax and get the blood going through that part of our brain again so we can remember things. On a job interview, I'm asking someone a question and all of a sudden their brain freezes. They can't remember the answer to the question. It's Yet if they were with a friend having a coffee and the friend asked them a question, they could probably answer it. So practicing for job interviews and relaxing and things like that helps the blood get back there. And on a first date, there you are with a dry mouth and a gurgling stomach and sweaty hands, and you can't think of anything to say because there's no blood going to that part of the brain. So how do we learn to control that? Well, my 4 F words: fight, flight, freeze, The fourth one is flow. We learn how to flow, just like water.